Founder of Sustainable Campaign. Thank you very much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and sharing the channel with your network. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everyone who makes an effort to share this YouTube channel with your network. I really appreciate it. So for the newcomers, feel at home. So this is a platform where we promote awareness and promote sustainability, and it's a sustainable campaign generally. So we bring on board different experts and on environmental field, agricultural field, or rather the natural resource management. We're able to discuss issues to do with sustainability, and feel at home and click on the notification bell. Once I upload any video, you're able to be notified, and you're able to watch the video. And I want to do this video. I promised that I would go live and explain the COP26. I was doing it on Saturday, but I thought, let me do a video instead where we discuss. I feel this when I'm so relaxed, I do the video, and we discuss about the United Nations Climate Change Conference, or the COP26. So yes, so this is a conference that will run from 31st October 2021 to 12th of November 2020. It was to happen last year, but of course due to COVID reasons and I think maybe other restrictions. But now, yeah, so it's here with us. It is huge, guys. This is a huge conference where it brings together parties to accelerate action towards the Paris Agreement and the United Nations climate change, the United Nations Framework Climate Change Convention. So the UNFCCC. So it brings world leaders, the big leaders, the US and so forth, so these leaders come together and tell us the ambitious plan or ambitious actions in tackling climate change. So, and how best they're able to tackle the climate change. It's interesting because we have there's a previous video that we did with Anita Sorina. Anita Sorina is in UK. She's in the forefront and she's doing amazing things as always. And other people as well. We were represented as a country. There are lots of people who have gone there as a country to represent us. I wish I was there too. So let's hope next time I'll be there as well. So I thought it's just prudent for me to do this video and break it down and let you guys know what what COP26 is all about, and for a layman, for anyone who can understand it. For those who are not environmentalists or conservationists, they're able to understand what COP26 is all about, or the United Nations Conference on Climate Change. So, like I mentioned, it brings all stakeholders on board. Anyone who has climate change at heart, so any stakeholder on board, and where they're able to come up with a collective action towards tackling climate change. And it's running from 31st October to 12th of November. So every day they're able to discuss particular issues of concern to climate change. So I'll be discussing issues that maybe are the main issues that you can discuss here in the channel. Like, climate change is with us. We are experiencing the brunt of climate change. Even at home level, we are able to experience the effects of climate change. I know most people have experienced dry spells, floods, landslides. At times you're saying that it is very cold. Frost, or maybe there's extreme temperature. Heat stress and so forth. So climate change is with us, and something interesting that the world leaders discussed about this need for action on forests and land use. Yeah, so as at now, the global temperatures has risen up to 1.5 degrees centigrade. So there are various climate change analysis or simulations that has been done, both current and historic scenarios that has been carried out by various experts on climate change analysis, and they've said that as of now, the world or the global temperatures has risen up to 1.5 degrees. So at 1.5 degrees, which is very high, we're experiencing all these effects of climate change. So, what the world leaders discussed is that there's need for action on deforestation, which is actually, we know it is something that needs urgent attention. So, the over 100 leaders have committed to halt or reverse forest loss and land degradation by 2030. So if there's for any chance of keeping the temperatures below 1.5 degrees centigrade, there's need for halting deforestation. I know deforestation is a serious issue, especially in us in the developing countries. You know, there's a lot of deforestation going on. There's people clearing of forests to pave way for agricultural lands, people clearing forests for as a result of population pressure and so forth. So what people don't know is that when you cut all these trees, we are accelerating the increase in the global temperatures, because as of now we are at 1.5 degrees and we're experiencing all these issues to do with famine and so forth, issues to do with drought, is as a result of all this. So what the world leaders, they have committed towards halting deforestation. So by 2030, we are likely to lose over 70 million hectares of land. So what can we do as an individual? As an individual, you can be involved in planting of trees. When we are to experience the long and the short trees, make an effort of planting trees so as to increase the forest cover. I can give an example. You can be able to plant the fruit trees. So these fruit trees will not only provide you with the fruits, mangoes, avocados, and so forth. So it will provide you the food and improve your nutrition and dietary needs, and at the same time, we are conserving the environment. So that's an interesting approach that we can take at household level. So once we are to experience the long and the short trees, make an attempt of planting trees. Not just trees, you can also you plant the fruit trees. If not the fruit trees, any other trees. Let's ensure that we are involved in the reforestation efforts, and there's need for the rehabilitation of the degraded sites. I know most people remember in the years back we used to have beautiful sceneries, but as at now they're all lost. How well can we reclaim all these things? It's by rehabilitating these degraded sites through planting of trees and involvement in the reforestation efforts. If you feel that this is too much, you cannot be able to plant trees at your household level or any other level, please support those people who are involved in planting of trees initiatives. Support them. If they ask for funds to buy seedlings and so forth, because it is expensive, and it shouldn't be like we leave it to particular people to do it. Let's make an attempt to come up with a collective action and approach towards tackling this. And that's at an individual level, and also at the national level. We have these policies to ensure that there's less cutting of trees or no, there's no deforestation. So there are amazing policies um, currently at the national levels, and there's need for more enforcement. You know, let's not just have the policies, but how well are we enforcing it? Let us support the people who are enforcing these policies. Uh, if you're told not to cut trees, let's not go behind, and plant and cut trees. So let us ensure that we come up with a collective action towards tackling deforestation. So that's number one thing that was discussed. And another thing that was discussed is there's the need for accelerating the clean technology, innovation, and deployment. So basically, the clean technology, such as the clean energy, we can use more of the solar energy, wind energy, turkana and so forth, biogas. Yeah, through this, we're able to promote clean technologies and innovations. Yeah, there are lots of people who are involved in these clean technologies and the innovations. Let's support them. And by through this, we are ensuring that we are trying to reduce the global temperatures to below 1.5 degrees centigrade. Another important thing that was discussed is the climate finance. Climate change is with us. We are experiencing the brunt of climate change as a country and as a world in general. So, adapting to the effects or the consequences of climate change can be very expensive. So there is the need of climate finance. And you've seen even environmentalists coming on board and asking if you want to support our initiative, support us by planting, by paying for the seedlings and so forth. So because it is expensive adapting to the effects or the consequences of climate change. So there's the need for mobilizing finance for climate action so as to ensure that the global temperatures are below 1.5 degrees centigrade. So what was discussed or what did the world leaders agree? So the developed countries have pledged to finance climate change action. How amazing is that? So the promise that the 100 billion every year between 2020 to 2025 to support developing countries that are very vulnerable to climate change, because developing countries, Kenya included, of course, we have low adaptive capacity, we have high sensitivity to climate change, we are more exposed to climate related hazards. So we need this climate change, we need this finance to be able to tackle the climate change. So it is important for those other countries that have not pledged to and are developed countries, we need all them to pledge and support, and not just pledging, let them support the developing countries so as to tackle climate change, because at the end of the day, even if we are developing countries, we are struggling, we are more exposed to them, we are more vulnerable generally, because we are more exposed, we are more sensitive, and we have low adaptive capacity. Then the effects, or because it is global thing, so we will still have an impact on the on the global warming. So that's why it is important for them to help us who are very vulnerable to climate change. And another important thing that is happening, and I know it will happen to the entire conference, is climate change activism. So these climate change activists, they are third party maybe who are very passionate about environment, passionate about our earth planet. So there's activism going on, advocacy, there's lobbying going on. So where people are raising their voices so that because they are very committed towards climate change action. So they want their issues to be heard by the world leaders. If they have issues to do with the fossil fuels and how it is affecting their communities or having an impact on the global warming, they want that to be heard. For the vulnerable communities back at home, or the indigenous communities, despite them being the resource owners, they do not benefit much from climate from the environment. So people want their issues to be heard by these world leaders, because they're the world leaders and they're responsible for the, you know, because they come up with these legal frameworks and so forth. So if they're able to hear out the activists' concerns and issues, eh, then we are likely to be able to have an action towards climate change. So this is something that I know it will be ongoing throughout the entire sessions. So because there are people from all walks of life, we have the young, the old, women, men, and so forth. They are involved in activism. So I don't know if I mentioned. If not, I'm sorry. The conference is happening in the UK. So everyone, most of the people have traveled to UK, and yeah, so I know the streets of UK are now busy. There's a lot of activism going on. You know, when there's activism, people are able to air their voices and their concerns, and it is important for the policy makers and the decision makers to hear their concerns, because of course they're valid. They cannot be involved in lobbying and advocacy if their issues are not important. So also another important thing is the youth involvement in climate change. So there was the youth and empowerment day. As an as a youth, what are you doing at home with regards, or in your household, or in your neighborhood, with regards to climate change action? So that was in day 6, I think so, where the youths, their issues were hard, and with the statistics, we know that there are about 59% of the youth that are working towards climate change crisis. So youths are passionate about their planet, and they are working towards the climate change crisis. So they are coming up with beautiful innovations. There are some youths who are coming up with climate related innovations to tackle climate change or to adapt to climate change. And it was a platform given to them so that they're able to also air their issues as youth. And as youth, we should empower and train the general public for the future, for the sake of the future generation. So I believe myself as a youth, I'm using this platform so as to promote and empower the general public on issues to do with climate change and natural resource management, basically. And through that, we are promoting sustainable development. How? We are not compromising, uh, our actions for the sake of it. We're not compromising the future generations from enjoying whatever we are enjoying. The beauty, the beautiful sceneries, the aesthetic value of nature. So I'm using this platform. I know the digital platform is the in thing, so I thought it's prudent to use the digital platforms to air and empower the general public on issues to do with environment. So despite having training on environment and climate change, me being a climate change expert, I'm still passionate about environment. And now using this platform, I'm able to empower the general public and promote awareness on matters to do with sustainability. Somebody back at home there who is involved in sustainable action. So if I'm able to air those issues, somebody else can emulate the same thing that the person is doing. If the person is involved in sustainable land management practices, such as conservation, agriculture, and so forth. So if I'm able to air that on my platform, another person in another county or in another country can see, wow, I can emulate this in my village. What's the outcome? The outcome is it will be sustainable. Will be There will be more people involved in sustainable land management practices, and the outcome will be, as a global world, we'll be able to reduce the temperatures below 1.5 degrees. So if you are not careful, the rise can be higher. And you know, we are experiencing the effects of climate change. So imagine if we are more than 1.5 degrees centigrade. How bad can that be? Yeah, I know we've experienced climate change wherever we are. It is with us. So we've experienced it back at home. You'll hear even our uncles or our grandfathers and grandmothers telling us, "Oh, the rains have delayed. You know, this time we got very little rain. You know, this time there's a long dry spell. Yeah, this time there's maybe too much rainfall, and that means there's too much flood. Like in my village last year and part of this, it was crazy. There's lots of floods that has led to displacement. Yeah, so that's about it. So you imagine a scenario where the global temperatures are above 1.5 degrees centigrade. How bad can that be? We will not survive. There's some scientists who've said that by 2050, if we are going on with the way we are going on, we are likely to perish, all of us. Yeah. Others are saying by 2100. So we need to come up with a collective action and ensure that we do something at individual level. Let's not just wait for our leaders or the world leaders to discuss these issues. Yeah. So also another important thing as I finish up is another thing that was discussed, the ocean ice sheets and the melting planet. Yeah. So I know we've discussed in my previous videos also the life underwater, and now we've not had the opportunity to discuss about the ice sheets and the melting planet. So for instance, there's a project that I'm currently involved in where I realized that Mount Kenya, we've lost like over 90% of the glaciers, and this is something that if you're not careful, we will lose Mount Kenya, something that we really take pride of as a country. Yeah, so this is as a result of the increase in the temperatures. Yeah, so it is important to reduce these temperatures below the 1.5 degrees centigrade, otherwise we will not have Mount Kenya. Yeah, so yes, so that's about it. Those are the things that has been discussed in those days, and it's still going on. It's up to 12th of November. So maybe tell me on the comment section what you feel about the conference. What are we doing as a country to ensure that we are tackling climate change and the issues that have been discussed? For instance, I would expect people from Kitui to tell me, yes, my county, we are involved in climate change finance. I was in Kitui a while back, and these people are able to, the county has ensured that part of their developmental plans, they're able to channel part of the funds to climate change. So they can have a development project or maybe building something, but part of it, a small percentage of it is going towards climate change. Yeah, so other counties should emulate that. And yeah, so tell me, what do you think we need to do, or what are we doing? Have we tried to attain uh, to attain optimality in ensuring that we do not have the greenhouse gases, and ensure that we do not have global warming and climate change effects? So thank you very much for watching the video. I urge you to follow me on my Facebook and Instagram, where I think I'll be sharing the remaining days that will be discussed. I can share something there, so don't forget to follow me on my Facebook and my Instagram. I love that the Facebook is really growing. Thank you very much for everyone who is following and liking the Facebook page. So yes, thank you very much, and subscribe to share it. See you in my next video.